A very good morning to all of you students. In our initial video we had studied till kingdom fungi, okay, and the mold part of that kingdom I had left. So today what we are going to study is the molds. So molds are the variety of fungi. Obviously they belongs to kingdom fungi, okay. So if we talk about moles are the most saprophytic fungus. Now what is the meaning of saprophytic? Saprophytics are those animals which grow or live upon dead and decaying matters, okay. So if we see the most common, or you can say the mold which is very you can usually see in our surrounding, that is Rhizopus and Mucor, okay. Rhizopus and Mucor are the most common mold. Mold means fungi. So if we are talking about their how they look, the cottony mass of both Rhizopus and Mucor consist of mycelium. The body is made up of mycelium, which is made up of hyphae, and the mycelium is made up of hyphae. The cell wall is made up of fungal cellulose, and the cell wall of fungus is made up of fungal cellulose. The hyphae are of three types: stolones, rhizoidal hyphae, sporangiospore hyphae. So there are three types of hyphae, students, and hyphae is what? Hyphae is those structure which consist together to form mycelium. Now if you are not getting what is mycelium, see the whole body is like thread like in structure of fungus, and thread like structure is made up of small fragment like structure, and those small fragment like structure is known as hyphae. Understood, student? So there are three types of hyphae. Those are stolone, rhizoidal hyphae. If they run at the parallel surface, the fragments are running at the parallel surface, they are known as stolone. If they are appearing like root like, they are known as rhizoidal hyphae, and if they contain any sporangium, okay, they will be known as sporangiospore hyphae, okay. Bread molds are saprophytes. Saprophytes means, as I told you also, that saprophytes means those animals which live or grow upon dead and decaying organism. Not dead and decaying organism, dead and decaying matters or substrate. Useful fungi. If we are talking about fungi, there are some harmful fungi and there are some useful fungi. Harmful fungi are those fungi which causes disease or which can affect us, but useful fungi are those fungi which are very essential for us. For example, some fungi are used in food industry, like here it is mentioned mushroom. Mushroom is a edible fungus, and also you can see that mushroom are so costly also, so they are used in food industry, and also they are very rich source of protein. Then yeast is used in bakery industries, students, for making bread, cakes, etc. Then turn your page. In medicines also you can see the several fungus are used for the purpose of making medicine. For example, they are usually used for the making of antibiotics. Now what is antibiotic, students? Anti means opposite, biotic means living organism. They are those medicines which act against the some disease causing microorganism. For example, the first antibiotic was penicillin, and which was extracted from the fungus Penicillium, okay. Then the second antibiotic is griseofulvin, okay. It was extracted from the fungus named Penicillium, and the species was different, and they were also used for the treatment of different disease. There is one more antibiotic is given, that is cephalosporin, okay, and that was extracted for cephalosporium, okay. Cephalosporium is also a fungus, from that this antibiotic was extracted. Now in chemical industries also you can see, students, some fungus are very useful. For example, many organic acid like citric acid are made by using of fungus. They are also used in agriculture because fungus are responsible to increase the fertility of soil. Now what does fertility of soil, students? Means if any soil is fertile, then it will be able to grow more and more crop on its surface. Okay, then harmful fungi are those fungi which harm us, obviously. Then there are some fungi which causes human disease, there are some fungi which causes plant disease, there are some fungi which causes spoilage of food. Okay, there are some fungi, they are responsible for spoilage of leather and goods, means those items which are made up of leather, whether it is your coat, whether it is your purse, whether it is your shoes. So if we are talking about human disease, there are very fungal disease which is related to our skin. Okay, like skin rashes, ringworms. Okay, plant disease, the rusting of plant is the fungal disease. The spoilage of food, when a food gets spoiled, that is because of the fungal growth on it. Okay, now the fourth kingdom which we are going to study, students, is kingdom Plantae. With the name, student, you are able to recognize that the name is about plants. Okay, so here what we are going to study, the plants which are very minute in structure as well as they are very complex in structure. All the plants comes together in the kingdom Plantae. See, with this flow chart, students, you are able to see how the plant kingdoms are divided. In the plant kingdom, how the plants are divided. When you see when you divide all plants, you will divide it into two categories. First category will be of non-flowering plants, means those plants who does not give any flower. Okay, and one category will be of those plants those who give flower. Okay, so if we talk about the flowering plant, there are three categories: Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. So Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta belongs to the non-flowering plants. See, students, you have to always learn in this sequence, like firstly the Thallophyta, then Bryophyta, then Pteridophyta, because this is the sequence of their complexity. Means Thallophyta will be somewhat simple than that of Bryophyta. Bryophyta will be some complex than that of Thallophyta. Then Pteridophyta will be somewhat complex than that of Bryophyta. Okay. After that, we are going to study about flowering plants. In flowering plants, you are able to see Gymnosperm and Angiosperm. Angiosperm, because it is written after Gymnosperm, it will be the most complex plant. Okay, and Gymnosperm will be the plant without true flowers, means it will have flower but the flower will not be true. Now what is true and what is false flower? True means the flower which contain all its part, like calyx. Calyx means group of sepals. Corolla means group of petals. Androecium means the male part. Gynoecium means the female part. So if all the four things, if a flower contain, that flower will be known as the true flower. And if any one of them is absent, or you can say the flower is not having these four structures, then that flower will be not considered as a true flower. Okay, students. Now if we talk about angiospermic plant, there are two types of angiospermic plant. First one is monocotyledonous, second one is dicotyledonous. Monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous is based upon the plant seeds. If the seed is having only one cotyledon, like wheat, rice, maize, see only one cotyledon is found, they belongs to monocotyledons. And if the seed have two cotyledons, they belongs to dicotyledons plant. Okay, now the first thing which we are going to study in detail is non-flowering plants. So in non-flowering plants, what we are going to study, students? Thallophyta. Okay, Thallophyta are the thalloids plant, means they are having only simple structure, means a thallus like structure. Okay, no complexity will be found in the Thallophyta. For example, the most common Thallophyta are algae. Okay, you can see in the figure 2.12 how the algae look alike. See, some examples of algae is given here. One is Chlamydomonas, second one is Spirogyra, and third one is Volvox. All the three are belongs to the Thallophyta. Okay, and all the three are what? All the three are algae. Okay, now turn your page. See figure 2.13. You can see mosses and liverworts. So mosses and liverworts belongs to Bryophyta. Bryophyta are also known as mosses. Okay, and how they are different from Thallophyta? They were somewhat complex than that of Thallophyta, but simple from Pteridophyta. Let's study their feature. Bryophyta include mosses and liverwort. They grow as greeny velvety. The texture of them is like velvet, layer on shady and moist wall. So basically where they grow on moist wall or surface. Damp soil and bark of tree. They are called amphibians plant. Amphibian plant means the plant those who live on land as well as in water are known as amphibian. Okay, Bryophyta have stem and leaf but no roots. They have stem, they have leaves, but they do not have any root. For being a complete plant, you have to be leaf, you have to be stem, you have to be roots, you have to be flower, you have to be fruits, etc. Bryophyta have sticky surface. Obviously it is a velvet in nature, so the surface will be sticky, and thread like structure which help them to stick to the surface is known as rhizoids. So you can say that for them the rhizoids are root. Okay, because rhizoids help them to stick on this surface. Okay, example of the Bryophyta is mosses, liverworts and hornworts. Okay, these are the plants which belongs to the Bryophyta. Okay, then the Pteridophyta. In Pteridophyta, see students figure 2.14. Dryopteris, see this Dryopteris and Equisetum. Dryopteris and Equisetums belongs to Pteridophyta, which is also known as ferns. For in general, you can see some ornamental plants just belongs to Pteridophyta. Okay students, for example, ornamental plants means students the plants which you use for decoration and for gardening purpose like only. Okay, Pteridophyta includes ferns and horsetail. They bear root, stem and leaf but no flower. Means here they bear a root, they bear leaf, they bear stem but no flowers and fruit. Okay students, also the leaves of ferns bear small rounded bodies. The leaf bear small rounded bodies, means on leaf there are some rounded bodies are appear. These bodies are called sori. What they called? They called sori. Okay, which produces spore, and inside that sori spores are produced. What is the function of spores students? Spores contain the body of that plant, means when the spore get attached to the surface they will generate into a new plant. Okay students, for today we have to study till this only. On Monday we are having live class of this chapter on so on that live class we will finish this chapter. So please students, make sure that all of you will join that live class and we will complete this chapter. Okay, And one thing more, this is your first live class of class 7th biology. So make sure students, please all of you join the class, okay? Otherwise we are going to have our summer vacations, okay? Thank you.